I guess some of the biggest issues for me that I've seen in my community is unemployment, overcrowding in housing, bad health, like poor health. A lot of people dying at quite an early age. Like a friend of mine died not long ago, a couple of weeks ago. He was 30 years old of a heart attack. Like just stuff like that. That's the stuff that really breaks my heart, especially when I come home and see that all the time. Even my friends, their parents are dying at 50 from heart attacks. And people on dialysis at a young age, things like that. They're the heartbreaking things that I see when I come home. But mainly the other thing, apart from health, yes, unemployment and people finding it hard to find jobs and build a career in a viable industry. In town, Bourke's a great community. I love it. I always keep coming back. The community, they really pull together. So if there's a crisis or something to celebrate, the whole community celebrates, or the whole community comes together to support a particular person or a family if they're in need. Just the community spirit really, that you don't often find in other towns, but Bourke's well renowned for that, I guess. I guess the other positive things are kids going through school and finishing Year 12. At the moment I think they've got a huge number of black kids who are in Year 12 and wanting to complete Year 12. The kids here are into their sport. They're really talented. They've got a huge football comp on Wednesday nights that are run by a local organisation here, and it's all the young kids playing football comp. They hadn't had that for years, and the whole community gets together for that. People who don't even have kids go there and watch the football, and like my nieces and nephews are playing, so girls and boys. So that's really awesome too. At the moment I'm back in Bourke living until September. I'm doing my practical so that I can practice as a solicitor. So initially I did most of my schooling here till Year 10, did my school certificate here, and then I left the community to go to boarding school in Sydney for my last 2 years to get my HSC. That was primarily because I couldn't do the subjects I wanted to do here, but also a lot of the subjects that I would want to do I'd have to do by distance education. And I guess, after a while being in the same community all the time, having the same friends, it gets a bit monotonous, and, I wanted a new challenge, so I organised boarding school myself, and my whole family supported me, and I ended up going to St Scholastica's in Glebe, so I was there for 2 years. After that, I came home and worked for a year as a teacher aide in my old primary school, because I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to be a lawyer or a teacher, because my mum's been a teacher since I can remember. Still not quite sure. I like working with kids, but I decided to follow the track of being a lawyer. So I went to Sydney Uni, enrolled in a combined law degree, and I graduated from law 2 weeks ago. And now I've just got to do a graduate diploma to qualify as a solicitor in New South Wales, so I can practice in courts and represent people. But yeah, that was hard because I had to leave the community for that, and that meant time away from my family and from my grandmother and things like that, so I missed out on a lot. I sacrificed a lot, but at the end of it I can see that it was worthwhile. Well, the community were very supportive of me. Organisations would give me work when I come home from boarding school and holidays or uni holidays, always supporting me when I was at school and at boarding school, at school here and even at university, with letters of support. The community here has been great for me. I come home and I can go to court and work with the prosecutor or work with the Aboriginal Legal Service. The magistrate lets me go into chambers and have a yarn with them about stuff, and there's a barrister here in town who'll have a yarn to me about how uni's going or my prac now, and so this community have been very supportive of me, and I probably wouldn't have gotten through as far as I have if they weren't there backing me the whole way. Come home on holidays, everyone's like, so how you going, bub? How's uni going? Is there anything I can do to help you? That sort of stuff. That's what was the main driver for me. And also being able to come home and show my younger cousins or, family friends that, if you want something bad enough, you can get it, and don't let anyone stand in your way. Do what you need to do to get through and create your own opportunities then. I was very lucky. As a young child, I had my mum and my grandma who really nurtured me. Like my grandmother wanted me to get an education about our black heritage and our black laws. She's from the Coorong in South Australia. She's Nurrungeri, and she moved up here and married my pop and lived out in a farm for a bit and came into town. And she didn't get to have the educational opportunities that I've had, but she could only go to Year 7, and that was it really. And then later in life, as an adult, she actually went and did some TAFE courses here in Bourke and educated herself in a way. and she was one of the smartest people I've ever known. And then my mother, she was a single mum at one stage when I went into my teenage years, and she sacrificed so much just to make sure that me and my brother and my cousin that lived with us had everything we needed. We never went without, and I didn't even know that we were struggling at times because it was never an issue for my mum. She'd sacrifice stuff for herself just so that us kids could have the best education possible. So basically having strong women around me were great sort of role models and really inspired me. My dad's a shearer as well, so he was a shearer from a young age, so like 16 years of age, and now that he's had to retire because of an injury, he doesn't have a lot of opportunities now because he didn't follow educational sort of pathway. So seeing people who don't have a lot of education and people who have followed opportunities that have been presented to them in terms of getting an education, like my mum and my grandma, even though for my nan it was later in life, they can see the value of it, and they instill that value of education in me and my brother and my cousins. But in this town there are a lot of strong women, blokes as well, but I've been nurtured by a lot of the women in town, my mum and her friends, and they've sort of made me think about what I can do to contribute in a positive way to the community as a whole, Bourke, the Bourke community, but also the broader community. Yeah. I guess it comes back to education, I guess, being aware that this is an issue instead of just sweeping it under the rug, thinking it's nothing that we as Australians, there's nothing that we can really do about it. We all have a role to play, and we all have a responsibility to take action in regards to closing the gap in terms of all the disparities with education, unemployment, housing, health. We all have a role to play. It's our responsibility. And the thing is, I guess the positive steps that we can take, yes, be more aware of it, read some articles about it, read a book about it, go to your library and pick out a book and have a good read about it. But discussing it and looking at ways that we all can make a small change that's positive, whether it's helping set up a trainee opportunity with an organisation we know about, or getting funding to put on a program for the local kids here in town to educate them about health issues or something small like that. That goes a long way. But also encouraging the kids to finish school. That's what it comes down to, because if your kids aren't educated, then that's a generation that's missing out on a lot of opportunities, but also falling into the poverty cycle that encapsulates bad health, unemployment records that go through the roof. I learned about the poverty cycle at uni, and I'd never heard of it before. When I heard of it, I thought, oh my God, Bourke is in a poverty cycle. The black fellas at home. This is what most of my friends and cousins are a part of, and I've even been a part of at one stage. And it's really, it's hard to break the cycle. And, to break the cycle of poverty, you need support and assistance. And here in town, there's a lot of support, but if we want to make a positive contribution as a community, we need to really work out a strategy that we can positively influence the change.